Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not put any respect on NXT yet, you can get the taste slapped out your mouth. And somebody did this past Tuesday. We got that and so much more to talk about on this episode of WWT Live, starting now.
I am your forever ROH Women's Champion, your fallen goddess, the Alpha, the Minion, Overlord, the ROH Gatekeeper. But most of all, I am the best in the world, Athena, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling network on the planet.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us for another WWT Live. You say my name and he will appear. Your councilman is here. And we have a lot to talk about, from NXT to WWE and, of course, AEW. And I can't do this alone. So I had to make sure that I have some of my best folks here with me. She is new, but she is the official correspondent of everything All Elite, because God knows I don't watch it. So at least for her to be able to give us some good insight on everything All Elite, Miss Courtney Rice is here in the building. Courtney, how are you doing today?
Hi, guys. Happy Wednesday. Happy Dynamite Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we got some Dynamite stuff to talk about, too, in Garden Tonight's show. And, of course, I could not do this. Well, sometimes I do have to do this because she may be having to go to a fan con. She may be at work, or she might be working on some of her content for the Wrestling with Honey podcast YouTube channel. But to hear, she is here today. My tag team partner, the Sweetest Oos, Wrestling with Honey, is here today. How are you, my tag team partner? How are you today?
I am doing pretty well. A little tired pulling that double duty lately, but I'm here and I'm ready to go. And it is Wednesday. Happy Dynamite Wednesday. And also, I believe in Zelina Vega.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we could jump on that just a little bit. There's a couple of key things from Monday Night Raw that I would say. Now, before I ask Courtney, did you happen to catch Monday Night Raw this past Monday?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So just so we keep it brief, I want to know 3 of your favorite takeaways from Raw this past Monday. Courtney, we'll start with you because I already know we know Honey got hers already. So,
well, one, it was nice to see Uncle Howdy back in the main event. Nice to see Uncle Howdy and pick up a win on Monday Night Raw. Seeing Zelina Vega kick the crap out of Sonya Deville, and she has a match with her next week. So I'm happy she is getting her time to shine in the ring, which I'm very, very excited. And also, I'm excited for the Intercontinental title. We just had 2 great matches, and now we're going to find out who are the final 2. So I'm very intrigued on who's going to be Braun Breaker's next opponent.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Honey, what about you? Top 3 moments from Monday Night Raw.
Where do I begin? It was just such a wonderful, magical evening. The main event was absolutely my number 1 favorite thing about the evening. To see Taylor Rotunda back in the ring after 5 years. And it was just absolutely awesome to see. And, of course, the spirit of Bray Wyatt was there. His sister actually put up a very touching post on Instagram and, describing how the emotions were running, as the family was watching, and how surreal it was for them. And it just had to be like, from a standpoint from them after suffering such a big loss on the, also at the edge of the anniversary of Bray Wyatt's death. It had to be like beyond, something that they've never felt before. And of course, he did justice and succeeded. My other favorite part, of course, was Zelina Vega getting her licks into Miss Sonya Deville. She actually has a match with Shayna Baszler, so I'm assuming my girl's just going to have to take off the hoop earrings and start running through all 3 of the Pure Fusion Collective, or Pure Fusion Cocktail, as the councilman and the mayor have said many times.
There it is.
And I'm just excited because we're gearing up for for Bash in Berlin. So things are gonna get crazier as time progresses and as this week progresses because we're going right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I think my three big takeaways was the two triple threat matches for the Intercontinental Championship. Jay Uso shining bright and advancing, and as well as Pete Dunne. Was not expecting Pete Dunne to pick up the win, but I'm glad to see him doing that, as well as doing double duty on NXT. So really glad to see the Bruiserweight getting that shine that he deserves and showing them why he is the Bruiserweight and should be taken seriously as a NXT alumni. But my biggest one, and that's only because y'all already said the good ones, that big son of a bitch. The last night, boy, was a whole lot of back activity last night, man. Bro.
Big, yeah,
big
those
Strowman.
Those big boys got it in, man. And that was a heck of an ending too. It was
just me everywhere, and they did not disappoint. I think it was just good to see that it was not like those two in the ring. Both of them, like the size that they do and what they can do in the ring, is already impressive. But to see the both of them be able to do it, I think it's just something magnificent to see. It's just like watching two big mastodons fight in the snow, and you trying to see who's gonna win out the two of them. And I just loved every second of it. And then according to Eric Isaac as well, Pete Dunne, shout out to him, he won on Speed today, and he is the hardest working man in WWE.
Pulling that triple duty, man.
Triple duty. And then as well, they have announced a women's speed tournament. So we will also be soon crowning a women's speed championship. Have not been told who will compete in the first tournaments as far as the wrestlers go, but they are coming with the women's speed championships. Good to see special nobodies in here with the big back action, as well as Joseph Boza in here. It was the first anniversary of losing Wyndham, and then Taylor returns, and it was a great match. I loved it. People were expecting it to be a squash. I do believe so. I think people were expecting this to be like that. But I think to Honey's point that she brought up, I think you did Monday, was that Bo's last match was with Shorty G.
Mm-hmm.
So for this to be full circle and to have a real full match, I think that was something very fantastic to see, especially between them. But I do got to ask, though, before we get into the NXT news, with that going on, and of course, Uncle Howdy picking up the victory, does this conclude his stuff with Chad Gable, or do you expect to see more between the Wyatts and American Made? I'm gonna start with you, honey.
I would assume maybe possibly through the tag teams. I mean, but that could be something that just goes on, and they completely terrorize him for the rest of the time. But I don't know if it'll last that long. I think this is pretty much putting the nail in the coffin for Gable as far as Uncle Howdy goes, and he could definitely move on to some other things, because some other superstars, because there's been a lot of things surfacing online as to who that could possibly be, and there's been like little hints in certain promos that especially with the ones recently that we've seen Uncle Howdy / Taylor Rotunda / Bo Dallas doing. And where was Nikki Cross? I was very curious about where Nikki Cross was, because I don't think I saw her on Monday as well. So it left me with some questions, and I'm curious as to who else could possibly be the next victim. There's a lot of potential for lots of different stories and lots of different reasons.
Yeah. Courtney, let me ask you, with that, if this is the end between the Wyatts and American Made, who do you see their next targets being?
It's going to be very interesting because Bash in Berlin is this weekend, so I would not be shocked if they did try to interfere in one of the Raw matches. I'm not sure which one though, but it will be curiosity to see. And also, even Monday Night on Raw, like who is the biggest superstar on Raw right now they want to tackle? Like who is the one that they're intrigued. So I can't pick one, but there's so many, as Honey mentioned, there's so many different avenues that they could pick from. But I'm very curious on who's it gonna be because there's just so many choices that they can make.
Yeah,
That's
and as Courtney, I'm sorry, real quick. As Courtney was speaking, it like a little light bulb went off in my head. What if something goes down between, during Gunther and Randy Orton's match? Because we know there's a lot of history with Randy Orton and anything related to the name Wyatt. That would be something I think would be very interesting and cost him an opportunity to make history and, almost get 15-time world champion. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who else, maybe Jay Uso even. I'm just trying to think of other superstars, because even eventually we'll get to the Codys and we'll get to the Romans. I know that for sure.
Yeah. The only reason why I can see them hesitant with Randy and Gunther is because Gunther has to get that clean win. Like that whole Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
Queen of the Ring.
Mhm.
That it has to show him beating Randy clean, especially in Berlin. Now, who I'd like to see, which I think is a great opportunity for both, the Final Testament. And I want them to call Wyatt 6 out. Like, I want to see that happen. I think because either way, even if the Final Testament don't win, that still puts them up there now with going into the main roster and showing what these guys can do. I think that would be a great rivalry that could potentially lead into a War Games.
Yeah.
Or even with the Judgment Day, even
that
with
could
this
be
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love to see that. And I would love it just so Nikki gets involved and makes Scarlett get in the ring. Like, imagine Nikki versus Scarlett in the day in her debut match. Finally gets in the ring.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be sick.
There's a lot right there.
And I just want, them to get to the Temu bloodline.
They gonna get there. That's if the Temu bloodline doesn't crumble. As we know, belts are being moved. Tribal chiefs, as they like to call themselves, not looking as they should be. So we're gonna see if they even there for the Wyatt 6 to come mess with, or if it's just gonna be bones and carcasses of the Temu bloodline. So, but shout out to Cliff as well for joining us and saying hello to everyone. Jordan Kirby saying he'd love to see Judgment Day versus the Wyatt 6, and that he believes in Joe Hendry. Well, believe me, sir, you are in a place where everyone believes in Joe Hendry, and that is a perfect segue for us to get into a little bit of this NXT recap news. Now, some of the matches we are just going to kind of breeze through a little bit, like, for instance, the opening match, which was Fatal Influence, Jasmine Nix versus with Jasmine Nix on the side versus Last Legend and Jakara Jackson. Fatal Influence picking up the victory over them, as well as a match between Carmen Petrovich versus Izzy Dane. Now, this was a pretty good match. I'm not going to lie. This was definitely a pretty intense match between the two of them. So I do want to get y'all thoughts on these two ladies in the ring last night.
As soon as that match was over, I was like, all right, I want to see that match again, but on a grander stage at a PLE. I just want to see it, because Izzy Dame is something to behold in the ring. She's so athletic and she's freaking strong. Carmen Petrovich, I've never put anything past her either. But yeah, though that match, for some reason, it left like it was like a good meal, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm finished already. All right. I'll take a bigger plate the next time, because I want to see that again.
Yeah. Courtney, your thoughts on the match?
So, confession to make, I actually DVR'd it last night, but I plan to watch NXT because I heard last night was crazy. Especially in the chat, it was really nuts. So, I get to go back and watch it.
Okay. Well, I will say, just because you haven't seen these, yes, to Honey's point, it gives you that feel. I don't know if you're watching SmackDown, but it gives that
Mhm.
feel of Andrade versus Carmelo with these two.
Okay.
Like, you would not mind seeing them going back week to week and going at each other just to see who's going to take the victory. So that was a fantastic match to have. And then just shout out to NXT, because NXT, I really want to say, is one of the leading shows that has women featured in these matches more than any showcase that's going on right now. And all of them are delivering. So, and then even speaking of which, we had a mixed 6-person tag match against the Family versus No Quarter Catch Crew. I didn't watch it. I don't know why they just it doesn't do it for me. We know the Family picked up the win last night, but what we found very interesting, you don't go knock on Obafemi's door and think Obafemi ain't finna bring that smoke to you. So if you were watching NXT, the Don, Tony D'Angelo, kept getting some of his family members to try to get him some moments to the side so they can discuss something that is going on. Now, we didn't know exactly what was happening, what was transpiring for the D'Angelo family, but we found out that Obafemi doesn't just take over a ring. He takes over restaurants, as Obafemi took over D'Angelo's spot, letting him know that at their match at No Mercy, it is not going to be a game, and Obafemi will not hold back when it comes to this. So now let me just ask you, Honey, with now seeing this, does this make Tony D'Angelo more credible in going into this match? And do you see this now being more of a match, or do you still kind of see it like potentially like others where Obafemi is just going to run through Tony D'Angelo?
Okay. I want to be very careful when I say this. First of all, we're not going to tolerate no disrespect here to Obafemi, because Obafemi will run through anybody and everybody, including Tony D'Angelo. That's personally what I'm predicting, like early prediction. That's what I'm calling. But as far as this making him credible, I'm having a really tough time with Tony D'Angelo lately. And it was all because he had that World Cup championship for God knows what reason. And it, like, he was already in the main title picture. He was already in the main card title picture. Like a while back when Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes and everybody was still, they were still on the NXT roster. Mm-hmm. Why hasn't I'm just trying to figure out what, and maybe it's not his fault, but what it's something's not clicking with Tony D, and I don't know if it's the crowd or if it's just, it's just a little lackluster, because his characters come so far that, how much further can you go after going after the NXT championship? You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to discredit Tony D, but we're not going to sit here and act like Obafemi isn't gonna get him back for what he did to him last week, the way he body slammed him, with disrespectfully so, and Obafemi's not going to stand for that. Obafemi's been my guy since he broke out, since he first appeared on NXT soil. So I'm not going to stop gearing for him now.
Yeah. Courtney, let me ask you: Have you gotten a chance to witness any of Obafemi's matches?
I've heard of him, and I've seen clips of it on Instagram, and I do hear that he's a really good athlete.
Okay, so now let me ask you this: for someone that has like character development that's way more heavy on the character than it is the wrestling performance, like a Tony D'Angelo. As to Honey's point, a lot of folks just are trying to find what may be clicking and not clicking when it comes to Tony D'Angelo. If you were, let's say, in the creative circle and you have this Mafia Don type person what is some things that you might implement to make this character a little bit more credible for people to want to see and maybe take seriously?
I think the first thing I would tell anybody, especially if they have trouble on the mic, you better be authentic and you better embrace that character and find what originated that. Like, if you want to be this mob person or like an Italian boss, I would probably look at stuff that makes it inspirational. I mean, go back to some of maybe the films that influenced the mafia, and also bringing your authentic self and seeing like what's coming in, because the last thing I want is somebody that's speaking on the mic and it feels like you're reading from a script and it's not real. Like, that should not have to do that, because you're going to lose connection to that audience. So I think for him, he really needs to dig down deep and really, really be authentic with this and just have fun with it and go with it. Forget about the unexpected noise and just see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I'll agree with that. I also will say, when it comes to someone like Tony D'Angelo, I think one of the problems is that you're pushing to be this mafia person that is trying to also be a baby face, and that's just not going over well. Anti-hero is fine. Heel would be even better. But I even remember like watching Tony D'Angelo's like increase with his stuff. And the one thing I couldn't get past was like, why are you wrestling in a tracksuit? Like, I got it and I understood it, but I'm just like, y'all are in tracksuits. So even in from you seeing mafia movies like The Godfather or anything else, you're just like, okay, if you wear a tracksuit, that means you at the bottom. Like, you one of the henchmen. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's just like you're
No,
calling
but
yourself the
right,
Don.
because if you're the boss, you're
Yeah.
not doing anything. Like, you're not doing
Nope.
anything until it's time for you to face somebody for a title or something, or a big
Yeah.
match.
And I'm
Like,
not watching, and I think too, even maybe applying like an APA type of thing, or even showing like the politics of how this dude is gonna move really in NXT, like how they kind of used to do with his promos. But I'm not seeing like anyone getting taken out with like a lead pipe to climb him up to the next level, or for somebody to go, hey, you're under my protection now. And if you don't keep paying me, something might happen. Like let's say if it was like a Wesley and he costs you the NXT North American Championship. Like, we're not seeing the full Dawn character really be expanded out into the to the NXT universe. And I think that's one of his biggest problems, because match wise, we know he can put on the match. We know this man has strength that we didn't even really think that he could do. So even seeing him spine buster Obafemi, it was like, okay, I can see this coming. But I just think the character wise, it has not been this is not main event mafia according to Jordan Kirby. Yeah, but it should be. Like, if you're going with that, it should be. Like, you should be pulling up in the old school Ford. You should be having people as your bodyguard there. Like, it should really be like, if you're here in this restaurant, it takes like Ava needs to talk to someone before walking into the door to be able to address you. She doesn't.
right.
She shouldn't be able to have full access like that. And you should be very calm and collective about things. So when you step out to fight, it's a spectacle. It's like, oh, the Dawn's taking off the jacket and stuff. And that's one thing I say. If you're gonna do anything, you need to wrestle in suit pants and your church shoes with the muscle shirt. You should not be wrestling in sweats. You should not be wrestling in sweats, bro. I need you like with that. Like, you done took only half the suit off to fight. You this dude that don't nobody mess with. I think that's just the thing. Like, the Dawn has not been the Dawn. And I think that's what's missing with him. But maybe we'll see a change in this man this Sunday, because this Labor Day weekend, and we got a lot of wrestling this weekend, from TNA to Bash in Berlin to No Mercy. So it is going to be, I think, a banger when it comes to this NXT North American Championship match. And then leading and moving forward in the NXT. Wesley and Zach Wentz met in the ring to come face to face before their match at No Mercy. I have something when it comes to this.
Go ahead.
I want to
because I feel like I'm about to say the same thing too.
You know what? But I think my tribal chief says it a lot better.
I'm not feeling
it.
Wasn't feeling this. And not that it was because they weren't great. I think what the problem was, both of these energies didn't match, and it didn't get me excited for this. Like, you got Zach talking about how, man, I was here for you when you was sick, when you needed someone to get you soup, when you needed someone to help you with your rehab. I was there. And then Wes is just like, we're not on the same level. And then that was it. We're not on the same level. At No Mercy, I'm going to show you that. And then that was it. It's like, so is this personal? Are you mad at them? Or do they have a right to be upset? Like, I gotta ask you, like, how are you feeling about where this whole dynamic for Wesley character is right now?
First of all, this segment went on way too long for me, longer than it needed to.
Yes.
We get the point. We know there's a lot of bad blood here. Just get to the match and let them fight. Like, that's basically how I feel about this match. As far as what the focus is of, when it comes to Wesley, I feel like right now he's focusing on the wrong thing, because you were supposed to be going after the title and there's nothing overpowering Joe Hendry's, mega stardom right now. And I don't know. I just want them to fight, because this match is going to be great. This match is going to be great. But yeah.
Yeah, that's just that's really it. Courtney, any thoughts? Are you familiar are you familiar with Wesley?
Yeah, I've seen promos. They show promos of it on Raw, and I've seen him, especially when he portrayed his partner. I've seen like bits of it.
So let me ask you, do you see an NXT champion in Wesley at the current moment from what you're seeing? Are you looking at this guy and going like, you know what? I can see this man being at the top of the mountain of NXT. Or is it still some convincing that you need?
I think for me, it's a little bit of convincing. Since I'm starting to get back into NXT, it's a little bit convincing. I know Sunday they are going to put on a match. I know the match between the two of them is going to be good, but I just need a little bit more convincing.
Yeah, I get you. Joseph had Boza had a good thing. It's hard to care because we know how good Wes is. I'm wondering if Wes has done it all in NXT. This was created so he could have something to do at No Mercy. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you are absolutely correct in that, Boza. I think that the time that Wesley came in and that momentum he had, if he were going to be an NXT champion, has passed. And not because he's not good or anything like that, but I think because of the new shift that's came in with people from TNA, with the way they're moving to the CW, I feel like that wind that would have gusted Wes up to this picture has now set and sailed. I think that those so many times that he kept coming back and was like, I'm about to fight for a championship, not NXT championship, but the North American title again. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You've gone after this 5 times. 5 times. No Booker T. Like, what are you doing? And I think it's just put him in a standstill to where it may be time for him to move up. It may be time for him to go somewhere else, or even to maybe be one of those NXT stars that leans back into the TNA brand to focus on maybe this heel turn a little bit before being bumped up. Because don't get me wrong, I like the feud, but it's just
The build up ain't hit.
the
build-up
build up ain't hit.
And not for nothing, as far as wanting to see, I do want Wesley to focus on bigger things. That's what we had said weeks back before he even did this heel turn. But we're just gonna sweep the Trick Willie era under the rug like it never existed.
But that goes back to that point. Like you still got that that got to be resolved. Joe Hendry's thing is still there. Oh god, what's the boy's name? He just fought Joe Coffey this week on NXT.
Was it Idris? Yeah, Javon Evans. That's right, Javon Evans.
Yeah, Javon Evans. Like you still have that to go. Yeah, so it's just kind of like that momentum West had is just like it's gone. It's not there anymore. Like we know you can put on a great match, we know you could do this, but I really feel like you had to Bose's point. You have done it all in NXT. Like even you turning with this heel turn, it's not believable. We don't believe you as a heel, and we don't even believe why you traded on your people. Why? Because y'all lost once. That doesn't make any sense to me. Or
you're lying.
Exactly. So that was a perfect thing for it. Perfect thing is that. So we're gonna see what happens. Him and Zach are going to go head to head at No Mercy. We know it's gonna be a good match. People are gonna fly like crazy in the ring. They're gonna have some great spots, and don't know if something's going to come out of it or if that's it, but we shall see this Sunday on No Mercy. And then something very cool that happened. Our NXT Women's North American Champion was in action. Kalani Jordan was to face a mystery opponent by the choice of Wendy Wu, who she will also be facing for her NXT Women's title at No Mercy. Now, we had no idea who she was going to bring in. A lot of people thought it was going to be Tatum Paxley or someone else. But to everyone's surprise, her mystery opponent happened to be former TNA knockout champion Rosemary was in the building. Kalani did stand tall when it came to this, but also got choked out by Wendy Wu at the end. But I feel like this probably, what I call her?
Wendy Wu.
Yeah, you should change that to Wendy Wu now. You change to Wendy Wu now.
Oh my god.
My bad, y'all. I used to
no, that was hilarious. No, it was funny. It was funny. I thought you did it on purpose.
All I know is 2 O's at the end. I know that. I know they got 2 O's.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But I want to get y'all thoughts. Courtney, I'll start with you. How did you feel about Rosemary coming through the NXT? And how'd you feel about Rosemary debuting at NXT and going up against the NXT Women's North American Champion?
It's always a treat seeing one of the former knockouts in NXT, especially considering the partnership now. And also, somebody wrote in the comments she would not come in years ago because apparently you would have never saw a partnership with WWE and TNA. But look where we are right now. So it's always exciting to see former knockouts come in, get that huge shocker, and also deliver an incredible match.
Yes, indeed. Honey, let me ask you, with Kalani picking up the win against Rosemary, they keep having that conversation of if NXT and TNA are keeping a balance. What do you think this does for the partnership with NXT and TNA? Did it strengthen it? Did it weaken it? Or is it just kind of maybe, still keeping that steadfast current?
I think this further solidifies the partnership. We just keep seeing the partnership progress as the show progresses. As you said earlier, Councilman, the NXT show has kind of been like almost the leading show. especially things down with the Temu bloodline on Fridays and Mondays. I'm not sure what happened, but until the Wyatt Six came, but I'm just being funny. But this was really, really a big deal. I've heard and seen quite a bit of Rosemary's work, and she's awesome. Like, and what she brings to the table is absolutely something that would be of further value to a lot of the young women in NXT. Being that she's a seasoned champion, it was a very cool moment, and a really cool surprise because she got a huge pop out of this
Yeah.
for her. It was I wouldn't. I dare say that, the pop is was bigger when Jordan Grace, appeared, because, she was the first one to break through that door. You know what I'm saying? But this is just as impactful because Rosemary has made quite the name for herself, being a seasoned champion herself. And what a moment for Kaylani to come out on top.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Having such
Against such a main event, a main eventer in Rosemary.
Oh yeah, and to be able to put on a match like she did, I think it's just a good testament to showing what is going on at the Performance Center and how much the partnership between these two companies are really cared about. Not even like just the small little nuances that was given, like the fact Wendy Chu calling Rosemary up. Like, not thinking of like, hey, we're pulling someone from NXT. It's like, okay, you don't even have that thought process, and it's like, oh, okay, so now who else goes and grabs who? And even on both sides, like on TNA, it's like, hey man, I'm gonna get you a mission opponent to face, and then we have someone from NXT come through. So it's just like, I think that was another door that we saw open as far as how these partnerships can work, and even too from what I was hearing, like potentially making a faction with some of these people, like a Wendy Chu, Tatum Paxley, Rosemary, and having this combined force of an NXT TNA group of superstars. So we shall see. I just liked what it was, and it made me a little more excited for Kalani Jordan to defend her title against Wendy Posturepedic at No Mercy. So hopefully some backs get aligned. I'm gonna sleep I'm gonna be real comfortable. All my pillows around me as I watch this match to see if Kaylani will remain the NXT Women's North American Champion, or if Wendy Chu is taking this to Dreamville or whatever nightmare she be chilling in when she's not wrestling. So we shall see what's gonna happen. Just to kind of speed quick through these, just some highlighted matches. Malik Blade versus Brooke Jensen. Brooke Jensen did pick up the victory against Malik Blade, but it was an awesome performance between both stars. I like that these are not squash matches that we used to see a lot within wrestling. You're actually starting to see like these matches kind of go a little bit longer, showcasing both of them, because even though Brooke Jensen won, it does help along with his story. Malik Blade looked awesome in this match, and I really would like to see a lot more of him. And then as well as Javon Evans taking on Joe Coffey, a fantastic match, also something that could have been a main event for NXT. Phenomenal performance. I hope to see more from them. We get another match. Joe Coffey did pick up the victory after his whole ass Gallus people got involved. So hopefully, hopefully Javon gets somebody, and maybe we get some 6-man tag action, or maybe some good stipulation stuff like a last man standing between these two. So I just wanted to highlight those two matches because I thought those were good. And so we get to I'm sure as Cindy just put, the slap heard around the world. And she said
the third slap heard around the world. The third.
Now let me just say this because this is my client. In case y'all don't know, Jada Parker does have a match against my client Roxanne for the NXT Women's title at No Mercy, and they had themselves a sit down. And
technically, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, technically, it was an interview that Roxanne invaded. They were doing some promo work. Roxanne decided to stick her nose where it did not belong. And I had to advise my client this very well. Never keep your guard down with a woman that has a slit in her eyebrow and wears black Air Force Ones to work. Because I don't think Roxanne had been used to that. And that's what happens. And if you didn't know, Roxanne literally got the taste slapped out of her mouth very quick. When I say world star moment, it was a world star moment. Not a good look on my client's fact, but I will just pivot a little bit. It takes a true champion to push over their opponent like that. For you to fall out that chair the way you did, Roxanne, you are a top actress. I just want you to know Meryl Streep is proud of you if you are. Okay. But honey, I want to get your thoughts on it. The slap and what does this do for you and this match that's going to take place at No Mercy?
Well, this match we definitely know is. I would assume that this match, or I'm going to presume that this match is going to be match of the night. Not only because of our darling women's champion, but also because Jada mother effing Parker ain't here to play no games, and I am so here for that. This is going to be a very tough match, but yeah, I mean, we'll get to our predictions when it's time, which will probably happen on Friday. So you guys got to just make sure we stay tuned for that conversation. But this segment was quite interesting. What I did find more interesting in this segment, though, who was Jada Parker talking to at the end of that part of the show, and who did Roxanne see? Because it wasn't pleasant. It made her gasp. It almost looked like it could have probably scared the ever-loving shit out of her. But not so much to where Jada Parker felt scared or intimidated, because she stepped up to her and said, you could get some too. So I want to pose a question to you guys and everybody in the chat. Who did they see?
Courtney, we'll start with you. Who do you think in this segment, or I know you hadn't seen the segment or anything like yet, but who could this potential mystery person be that these two women were addressing?
Oh man, I'm actually looking at the chat because some people were saying Stephanie Baker, but they're saying she has issues with her visa. So I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see. But Roxanne's gonna get her butt kicked on Sunday. She will, but I'm very curious. I'm very curious on who it is. But yeah, but in all seriousness, it is gonna be a good match between the two of them. I've really been amped up, and seeing some of the videos on Instagram and the promos that they've done. It's gonna be a physical. These ladies are gonna bring it. I can't name guesses, but I would not be shocked if it was someone from either TNA or somebody that was recently signed. So there's a lot that could happen, but I'm very intrigued on the outcome this Sunday.
What about you, Councilman?
Now I want to go with Cora Jade. As the person, but and special nobody's I'm with you, but based off on how Roxanne looked at her, I don't know. And but we have seen Cora Jade like taking photos and stuff like that, seeing her back in the ring. And yes, and the Sindell's point is like, oh, I've heard of you. Now I'm leaning more towards someone in TNA. I'm gonna lean forward more into someone with TNA that is going on. Now, I don't know who from TNA, but I want to say I don't have a particular person in mind, but I'm gonna say it could be potentially TNA. That's what I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna stick with that.
Now, all right. So I want to give you guys my small quick take on this. That I believe that this could go one of three ways. in my head, like the way I see, like if you're thinking like with the mind of Shawn Michaels and you want it to be shocking and crazy and completely like you want to blow the roof off the place. That's what I'm thinking in terms of. This obviously could go one of three ways. It could be Cora Jade, which would be predictable, right? I don't think that time is going to come yet. It's somebody that intimidated Roxanne to the point where she looked like she's scared, and then Jada was able to, but not so scary for Jada Parker, who stepped up to her. So this could even be somebody who's been in the main event roster or the main roster, and somebody who's completely seasoned, you know. But that's not my take. Cora Jade was the obvious choice. But now thinking about it, this could go at either one of these ways. If you want to create shock value, Julia has been has been waiting in the wings. I believe she also came up off an injury, and she also was finalizing a lot of her situation when I think it was it her contract, or did she wrestle? Didn't she wrestle? Somewhere, somebody in the chat remind me, because it's totally escaped me. But Julia has been signed with WWE and NXT for quite some time and has been set to debut for quite some time, and we've just been waiting for the right time. Roxanne has mentioned Julia's name in countless interviews numerous times, and it's somebody that she said she would love to face. So that could be something that just drops right on Roxanne's lap and say, here you go. Or, and this is my final or, if you really want to drive the audience absolutely nuts, you bring back Mandy Rose. I said it.
I
said it.
Hey,
That'd be dope.
I said it.
yeah, that'd be
Can
awesome
you
to see
just
Mandy.
imagine?
Yes.
Like,
all the way.
Because not for nothing, Roxanne and Mandy, nasty match, banger match. Jada Parker and Mandy, banger match. Like, I'm just saying. I understand. We have Julia and Cora Jade, but I feel like these are obvious choices. What if Mandy Rose?
See, now you making me
Just saying. I'm throwing that out there. You guys take what you will with it. You guys in the chat, take it how you want it. But
now, honey,
I'm gonna think way out the box.
Can I think even further out the box? Then can I come outside with you? You want to really blow this up and take this all the way through?
Where we going?
AJ Lee.
Oh, you better stop it.
Hey, if you think about it, look how all this lines up, and how we really start thinking about this stuff, and how all of this lines up, because we have a story that we're going to talk about a little bit more with Roxanne. Her mentor is CM Punk.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because we that would be a perfect segue to go into our next topic.
Yes, and we're gonna get there in a second. But not only that, there's been talk of them trying to get her to come back from these particular people. NXT has the greatest women's division in all of the world right now. Why would AJ Lee not come back to that? And do you know how big them arena shows would pop having AJ Lee there? And everybody waiting for her to go to the main roster if she chose to. But with the NXT TNA setup, that could be something.
Dylan, I just want to. Dylan says Mandy Rose returned first week on CW with that QR code to some links on the screen. Please highlight this comment. Shout out to our producer from the future. Good morning to you, sir. We could tell you've had your coffee.
Yes. AJ Lee is going to help Punk with Drew. I mean, still all of that aligns up. All of that still aligns up. AJ Lee is for the main roster. You can say that, yes, that is true. But let's really take some time and think about this.
Yeah.
If AJ Lee came back, AJ Lee got about a good four or five sets of matches that she can have currently on WWE. And I don't mean as far as like physical or anything like that. Like her and Becky is gonna sell. Her and Bianca would sell. Her and Rhea would sell. Her and Bayley would sell. Her and Charlotte would sell. But a lot of them, we still got to wait to get put really back into storylines. For someone like her, for people that look up to her, a lot of these women look up to her as inspiration. For her to be there and to take NXT by storm, it just makes sense of what you're trying to do with this brand. WWE main roster is already taken care of.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
April had wild. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, I'm just throwing it out there. It's 100% going to be Julie. It could be. But again, that's why the question was posed of who we think it was going to be. So
shout out to everybody though. Those are great answers. You never know where this could go.
Never know where this could go. We do know where we're gonna be Sunday, and that is checking out No Mercy as my
Pop Rock City.
The Pop Rock City, the Pereziacs will be in full effect, watching the NXT Women's Champion take on Miss Jada Parker. Believe me, somebody's getting drugged, and I'm not even gonna lie. Roxanne is probably gonna get drugged a couple of times.
Who Lola Vice fighting? Don't she have a match in No Mercy?
You know what? That was I had a question
in there
about that. We can pass up. We'll come back to the main event. I definitely had this question. Because I said we had 72 hours until NXT aired, and we wanted to see what was going to happen. And I noticed that Lola Vice was not there, nor does she have a match. Now, if I recall, there was so much talk about this woman being the most important on this card, most important person on the poster, yet somehow does not have a match. And let me even take it a step further so y'all can see how much Vice City has crumbled. They've even changed the poster.
Stop it. No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Wikipedia, right? That was the cover of the next team.
Yo, he's in
man.
stitches. Oh my god.
Yo, when I saw this, like, where you at? How you go from this to this? Oh man, but you know what though? Hey, it was all downhill from here.
Oh shit. This is why if you're listening, you need to be viewing it. It's so much more fun here. I promise you. There's a picture here of Lola Vice being whacked in the face with a pillow by Wendy Wu.
Oh,
Wendy Chu.
Oh.
I can only imagine and wonder where the co-mayor is.
Yeah,
even cousin Ron has said, "Where's Mr. Former Mayor?" Because certain people forgot that he had hung up his Aqua T-shirt. I wonder where it's at now with this PLE card change.
And I noticed they've written off my pillow. So where you go from after that? Where do you go after that? Like, that's what I say. As the kids say, that's some crazy work. That's crazy work right there. What did you essentially kill Lola? Yo, you got in a UFC former fighter got knocked out by a pillow. A pillow. A whole pillow. Like, yo, like, this ain't me throwing shade. When you change the poster a couple of days before the PLA, yo, I promise you, if they do commercials and it's Jada talking, I'm never letting this go. I'm never letting this go. But I don't blame you. This is what happens when you have a very confused mayor as your elected official in Vice City.
Speaking of commercials, let's just take a quick cool off and a break and here's a message from our sponsors.
This episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to wwtalkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
I see why people smoke after sex because that was great.
Oh my God.
That was great. Oh my God. I get it now. Woo.
Unhinged.
Hate is not a good color on your councilman. Ain't no hate over here. Listen, this is what happens when you don't do your mayoral duties. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm using it.
Mayoral.
And let's face it, it's been downhill ever since. This ain't me hating. This is not spoilers. These are facts. Ever since he stepped down, it has been a downslide of Vice City. The man don't even promote blue shirts anymore. You remember when it's like, need your follows? I just want to see a sea of blue on NXT Tuesday nights. Notice he stopped doing that shit. Listen. I have been hit with a pillow full of stuff. All right. And I ain't getting knocked out. That's all I know. All right. She had, and if y'all want to really go there, the belt was in the middle of two pillows. How are you knocked out for a 3 count? I don't want to hear that crap about the belt. Oh, the belt was in there and that's what knocked her out. First of all, she got hit in the back. How's she out? How's she out for a 3 count? No, that's why they did this. That's why they did. As soon as that happened, we hit up the graphic team, man. We need to change the poster. Yes, Memorial Day. Yes, indeed. The fucking poster. You post this, sir.
I have absolutely no words.
Now I do have a question. To be fair, I am going to be fair about this. Could it be the reason why she's not on the card at all? It could be because of a potential call up. Is she possibly maybe going to Raw or SmackDown now? We did see her on main event. She did have a great match with Valkyria on main event. Mm-hmm. Can we see her now making her way to the main roster? I do want to get y'all opinions on that though. Honey, how do you feel about it? Is she bound for main roster, or are they maybe just trying to reset and pivot for the Lola Vice character?
Eventually.
You don't think it's now, though?
No. Eventually.
Okay.
Not quite yet.
Okay. Courtney, how about yourself?
Not yet, but she will be picked up. She will be.
All right, guys. Temple's Learning Tree. I love that. That pillow needed Lola to say.
I can't. Shout out to Temple's Learning Tree saying, if you aren't subscribed to Women's Wrestling Talk on YouTube, that doesn't work for me, brother. Shout outs to you, sir. We appreciate that.
Oh wow, Lola Vice gonna be turning up to put over Mia Yim.
Good.
So you know what? Let's get into this main event that happened at NXT because we got a lot of other stuff to talk about. There was
so much more.
Joe Hendry, of course, delivered on his concert, but was interrupted by the NXT champion Ethan Page. But we learned from this interaction that we got a new stipulation going into this NXT championship match this Sunday. And that the Trick Willie era is invading the NXT championship match as Trick Williams has been now turned into the special guest referee for this match. Now, I want to ask both of you, and we'll start with Courtney on this time. To add to what this is going on, Joe Hendry also mentioned to Trick Williams before going out to the concert that according to Joe Hendry, if he wins the championship, that he will have Trick Williams face him first for his first title defense. And Trick, gave him some encouragement by letting him know when you win the title, this match will take place. Now, with him being the special guest referee, how does this look in Joe Hendry's favor? Or are we going to have a Trick Williams as a referee that's going to remain partial and call this thing down the middle? What are your thoughts?
I think for Trick, I do believe he'll remain personal, even though he still probably has some bad blood between Ethan Page, the guy who he lost the title to. So I would not be surprised if he did get in his face a few times, or Ethan Page tries to provoke him in a way. But I do believe he'd probably call it fair down the middle. But like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if he really did get in Ethan Page's face.
Okay. Honey, your thoughts?
My thoughts, and I want to shout out cousin, special little nobodies, or excuse me, cousin Ron said it. Trick Willie heel turn after Joe Hendry's title win. I definitely smell shenanigans afoot. You can always rely on Sean to appoint a referee that can do something pretty interesting and completely cost the opportunity for Joe Hendry. I don't see why he would do that. At this point, I don't think Trick Williams should care because it's his title and Ethan Page was the one who took it. So no matter who's in the way, Trick Willie has an answer for that because he still, I believe he still owed a rematch. He never got his rematch either. So
that's always been tricky now with WWE. Like apparently the rematch clause is no longer
is gone. Yeah, apparently. But even still, in all fairness, I mean, this is Sean's NXT, so let's not forget how infamous Sean was for putting on that ref shirt and causing people to raise some questions.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely like to Honey's point. Shenanigans are going to be happening. I believe even Eric Isaac has mentioned something too with like Pete Dunne lingering around. Who's to say he doesn't come out and attack Trick Williams, causing something to happen and them not winning. And then plus with Joe winning the number one contenders match the way he did with all the shenanigans coming in, it's always some checks and balances. So does lightning strike twice for Joe and he manages to still find a way to win, or is Ethan Page going to be prepared for all the stops and setting up all the traps for him? But I do know this is going to be an incredible match between the two of them. I also get Drew McIntyre CM Punk vibes when it comes to this at Clash of the Castle. So I think this will deliver as a great main event for NXT No Mercy. So we're just gonna have to find out. We're gonna have our predictions Friday though, so you make sure you want to tune in for that. So but we're gonna move past the NXT news. This was set last.
Apparently, we're having technical difficulties.
You have to slide through the slides to get to the next slide. So I'm not being petty. I'm clicking next and going through. So I just caught these two. I didn't intentionally do that, but then I now caught it.
You're in trouble now. Oh my God, Cindy-O.
Oh boy, savage.
Cindy, you need to get you a camera and come on this show. I'm telling you, you need to come on here. Councilman, you asked for the mayor to run it. Nah, this is what he get for that Zelina Vega talk. That's what that's what this is about. You gonna leave
Dylan has some work to do, so let's try to get through Dynamite since it's happening in 48 minutes.
Yeah, we weren't moving with a Roxanne story, but we kind of mentioned that just her honoring CM Punk. And just to kind of catch up, we did get a little update as far as the commentators moving into next year. So at first we were hearing that Michael Cole and Corey Graves were going to be going to SmackDown, and that Joe Tessitore, the newest commentator, along with Wade Barrett, will be going to Monday Night Raw. But now, as revealed on Raw last night, the SmackDown team will be made up of Michael Cole and Corey Graves, who will begin their SmackDown duties on September 13th for the first SmackDown on USA Network. But we've also learned that Pat McAfee will be returning to Raw as they move into January into Netflix. So, and this will be right after the tail end of his ESPN College Game Days. So now it's trying to wonder the question, will Michael Cole be playing double duty on Raw and SmackDown? Or how is this going to be set when it comes to them? So I just want to ask y'all real quick, with this group of people, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Joe Tessitore, Pat McAfee, and Wade Barrett, with us moving into SmackDown going to USA, Raw going to Netflix, how would you pair SmackDown and Raw for their commentators? Who do you want to see go where?
I kind of like the idea of Pat and Corey for some reason. I think Pat and Corey would be quite fun. I know didn't they say something about Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore? They're going to be doing one of the shows together as well. They're doing Raw for the rest of the year. Thank you for that, Boza. Michael Cole and Vic Joseph would be awesome. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Vic Joseph on the main roster announcement team or commentary team, because he does a phenomenal job on NXT. I love listening to him on NXT. But I think him and Michael Cole would be a pretty interesting pair. But yeah, Pat and Corey would be my fun pair too. They would be freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that would be great. Courtney, your thoughts?
That would be kind of hilarious seeing Pat and Corey, because I'll never forget Corey being annoying at Pat McAfee. He would just be like, "What are you doing here?" He couldn't stand him. But that would be really funny to watch. Also, it'd be nice to see Wade Barrett and probably Michael Cole, because I know there are a few times they did commentary, but it would be nice to see Wade Barrett and Michael commentate together, especially since Wade Barrett's a big fan of the LA Knight fan club.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see Michael and Wade Barrett. And then, of course, you can't forget about Joe Tessitore. So I'm very excited to listen to him on Monday Night Raw. And it's going to be an interesting commentary team. And it will be very intriguing. But yeah, Pat and Corey, they would be fun. Wade Barrett, Michael Cole, they would have a little bit of chemistry dynamics.
Yeah. I agree. I'm agree with Honey for the Pat McAfee and Corey Graves on Raw, just because it's now not censored, so they can kind of go to do. But I think a good trios would be First of all, Dylan, bringing back Morrow like that just need to happen in general. I don't care where he at in WWE, as long as he's announcing. All right. When that man said we are running through the six with our woes at NXT, I was like, somebody protect Morrow at all costs. Protect him. He is the voice of the people. But
he was something, man.
He was something, man.
On NXT, he was so fun.
And you're gonna get to enjoy that, Courtney, when you start watching the takeovers. Believe me when I tell you, them commentaries he was giving, fantastic. But I would like to see the trio of Wade Barrett, Joe Tessitore, and Michael Cole. I like how excited Wade Barrett gets, the knowledge Michael Cole has, and then the technical abilities of the Joe Tessitore being able to hopefully bring over that Pat McAfee, whole play.
Cindy.
My God.
Cindy.
So we shall see what comes about the commentators, but we do know everything just seems to appear to be looking up when it comes to these moves for Raw and SmackDown. So we're gonna keep it moving with some more news. So a beef you didn't think would happen, but I guess there's a beef, and I guess I guess this guy didn't learn his lesson when he got put through a table off of the ramp. So reportedly, Machine Gun Kelly, during an interview with Logan Paul's podcast, don't know the name of it, don't care either, but he stated that Randy Orton was, talking crap about him during the SummerSlam weekend, and then went to confront him with a FU. And then Randy Orton would reply via Twitter with the big eyes emojis, like that never took place. So, Courtney, let me ask you, what your thoughts on Machine Gun Kelly and this, I want to say, somewhat partnership between him and WWE? Because every time it seems when he comes here, seems a little bit shaky. How do you feel about MGK and the WWE?
I feel like he needs to keep his mouth shut, or else he's gonna get his butt kicked a lot more worse. I have to say on that. Out of all people, why would you want to put a beef with Randy Orton? Like, out of all people. Yes. I mean, I can see like LA Knight, because Machine Gun Kelly was with Logan Paul. I can see LA Knight, but Randy Orton?
Yeah. Now we're trying to get this off the rails, but we have another one of the WWT correspondents here. The co-mayor or former mayor has entered, maybe not entered, not sure what's going on. We'll wait for him to pop up, but Huddy, your thoughts on Machine Gun Kelly and this story? Do you think that there's any truth to this, or are we sitting at 100% BS?
I normally don't curse on WWT Live. I try to do my best to refrain from that.
That's why I kept my mouth filtered.
It's not ladylike of me, but I will say this. It's fucking stupid. Pass. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
This is fucking stupid.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why, but something that's not stupid, but just something that was hinted at. A potential Batista return, sort of. Not really, actually. That's just to get y'all hyped about it. So, during promoting his latest movie, they were asked about, Batista had opened up about how he dreams of walking out and hearing his music in the WWE again, but he is definitely set on not tarnishing as what he calls his storybook ending. Just a quote that he said, "It's so perfect. It's such a romantic way. Like wrestlers don't get to choose the way they go out. I did. I went out on my own terms, the way I wanted to go with the guy I wanted to go out with, that being Triple H, and I will never tarnish that. It's not that I don't miss it. I miss the crowd, the energy. I dream about walking out and hearing my entrance music, but I know if I do that, I'll just tarnish my storybook ending, and I'm just not willing to do it. Honey, let me ask you your thoughts on this comment and him and how he was referring to this storybook ending. How do you feel about Batista's ending and his thoughts on a possible return, but not really?
I mean, I would leave the door open for Batista. I think the last time he was in WWE, it didn't end very well. And I recall, because this might have been pre-pandemic from my memory, they booed him out the building, and it was not that great. But I do think it would be a quick refresher for him to at least end on a high note. I mean, anything is possible. Never say never. But I wouldn't be shocked if he, as you said, he's been losing a lot of weight. He's been getting in shape. But I wouldn't be shocked to see how he would go, and also how he would go in the ring, because it's been a while since he's wrestled. Because I know he'll probably be a little bit stiff in the ring, but I wouldn't leave that door closed on Batista just yet.
Yeah. Honey, do you want to see Batista back in the ring, or are you good?
I'm good. I'm totally good. And the reason why is because I was there for his final match with Triple H at WrestleMania 35, and it was absolutely epic. It was I remember him saying that it was the way he wanted to go out, because it was a match that he wanted, and he wanted his final match to be with Triple H, who was his biggest mentor, his best friend, guided him throughout his younger years in the business. And, with Evolution, they created one of the greatest factions of all time. So yeah, unfortunately it pains me to say, but I'm good on Batista, and just being able to be there for his final match was just absolutely
He was special.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful, It really was. It was awesome.
It was. Yeah.
I'm good with the Beast, man. He's good. I don't think he has anything else to prove.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with my tag team partner. Stay your ass in Hollywood. You where you're at. You did it. Well done, old boy. Well done. That's all we need. So we are hitting the 35-hour mark until we get to
35-hour mark.
35-hour mark. Again, that's why I don't do the news. That's why we have the co-mayor. He does that a lot better than I do. But Dynamite is in 35 minutes, and so we want to definitely jump into some AEW news. Don't want to seem like I'm being too biased. On tonight's Dynamite, we have the return of Jamie Hayter. We saw her come through in All In to face off with one of her rivals, Saraya. We're not getting that tonight, but we will be getting a match against her and Saraya's protege, Harley Cameron, tonight on AEW's Dynamite. Let's go ahead and start off with Honey. How are you feeling about Jamie Hayter's return and her match tonight on Dynamite?
I don't want to sound like that person, but okay, sure, great. Let's just get the ball rolling, and just get to you versus Saraya, because we know that that's what all this is going to lead to. Let's just go right in for it, But yeah. This is awesome for Jamie Hayter. Welcome back to her, and yeah, I definitely smell shenanigans for this moment for sure. Because Saraya is going to involve herself somehow, being that she was very heated in that press conference afterwards too. It All In.
Yes, indeed. Courtney, being our resident AEW expert. No, sir, it wasn't. We put you up everything. No, don't do that. Yo, Vice City don't got good internet. We know that. You're not paying the bills there. We know. You're not being very mindful. You're not being very demure.
Vice City. Very.
Okay. Here at my places, we take care of our electricity bills. You see me paying to make sure our internet is here. Very mindful of the Parisiacs. Very demure for Strattonville. Just saying. Courtney, though. Thank you.
Ron, I'm still trying to figure this out, man, because I've been asking them for weeks, and the mayor or co-mayor just keeps evading the question.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe stop using Windows 10 and come up with the display. And this could work. But now, Courtney, I want to know, for you being our resident AEW correspondent, how are you feeling about Jamie Hayter's return, and how does this look feud-wise between her and Saraya taking on Harley Cameron tonight?
Well, first off, I'm happy to see her back on Dynamite for the first time in 6, 7, 8 months, because it's been a while since we've seen her, and I know she had a serious injury, but I'm very going to be intrigued on how she's going to do in her match. Hopefully she doesn't skip a beat. There's going to be shenanigans in that match, and I do believe, since All Out is in 2 weeks, I would not be shocked if they both have a match, and that could be something that could lead up to a really good, solid rivalry within the women.
Yep. So we will get to see. Oh my God!
Sid, not the dial up.
Oh,
say his name and he appears.
Oh,
we're still sitting. Well, as we wait, as I said, I think we'll see something great. Hopefully, that ring rust is not to be seen tonight on Dynamite with Jamie Hayter as she returns in the ring. Speaking of someone else who will be in the ring tonight, we saw the debut of Ricochet at All In, and he is not hesitating, not waiting. He wants to be in a match, and he is getting that match, as Ricochet will be taking on Kyle Fletcher tonight on Dynamite. Honey, how are you feeling about how you feeling about the debut of Ricochet, and now this match that's going to take place on Dynamite?
I'm really excited. I'm excited for Ricochet. I'm excited to see Rico and on new territory, a little bit of testing some unfamiliar waters, but you know what? I'm sure he will swim just fine. I'm just intrigued to see how far this goes with him and how they book him, and what division we're going for. What if he's there to collect titles, or he's just there to wrestle with some old friends. I think this is any opportunity for him to shine is an awesome opportunity, being that he wasn't always the one to shine in WWE. So it'd be nice to see if the grass is truly greener on the other side for Ricochet.
Yes, indeed. Courtney, let me ask you. That's what I was trying to do.
Sid Deal's said what happened on Monday Nitro this week. And
oh my God. How's picture still working? No? Oh, so, hey, look. You see, we're trying to put
the taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see it.
Did you play that, or did he play that?
I don't even see that here, and I definitely didn't play that.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
I'm gonna slap the taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see it.
You mean like how she got slapped with this pillow? So we talk. So we can keep it there if you want. Since
oh my goodness!
We're putting them up here. But I want to ask you. I want to ask you, Courtney. How are you feeling on Ricochet's debut match in Dynamite and going against Kyle Fletcher? Like, what can we anticipate to see in this match?
It's going to be a fun, high-pacing match. And plus, we've seen what Kyle Fletcher has done, especially against his match against MJF, because we know he can put on a really good match. So I'm very intrigued on what's I'm very intrigued on what Ricochet is gonna do, but it's gonna be a high flying, exciting, death defying match between these two, and really, really gonna entertain the fans in Illinois.
Yes, we can. Can we?
Cindy.
No, but we ain't gonna expect her though. We know we're not gonna expect her on no mercy.
No.
He changed the whole poster.
Co-mayor came in real quick and pulled a Seth Rollins.
Because his internet don't work. I was like, so you spud up all your minutes trying to put that video up? That's why they not letting you on? Like, hey, I had 13 minutes left and I done used all my shit up uploading that video.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But I am looking forward to seeing Ricochet. I will check out Dynamite just so I can see that. Yes, to Dylan's point, we are gonna move along. AEW Dynamite is starting within 28 minutes. Hopefully we are going to see some of the fallout from All In, see what the next chapters are going to be. Will we hear from Daniel Bryan tonight as well? Are we going to hear from the new international champion, Will Ospreay? Will them and Ricochet get into it? So before we get out of here, I do just want to know some of your predictions that may happen on AEW. At least two predictions that you think will happen on AEW's Dynamite tonight.
I think Mariah Storm is definitely gonna be celebrating and gloating in all her glory, being that she beat the Timeless One. Unfortunately, I also think that I think Swerve will have a lot of things to say. I don't think it's truly over for Swerve. If anything, he might have to run that match back.
I can see that because that is something Eric Bischoff said too. That he thinks that Daniel Bryan's last match should be at Wrestle Dream. Now, Dylan, I'm trying to get us through this. I'm trying to get us through so you can get the Dynamite. But apparently, yo. She ain't showing her face and kicking your ass. Courtney, two predictions that you can see happening.
Well, there is a few that's been confirmed. Like Bryan Danielson will be there to celebrate his title. Mariah May is going to have a celebration, and also Swerve will be there tonight. So I'm very intrigued on the aftermath of what Swerve has to say. I'm also going to be very intrigued, and this is kind of a little bit out of left field. I'm very intrigued on what MJF's reaction is after seeing Daniel Garcia at All In. So I'm very interested on what's he going to say, what Daniel Garcia has to say. So that is going to be very intriguing to see. And also, there has been a match already confirmed for All Out. Pac versus Will Ospreay for the international title. So that's going to be an exciting one.
Yes. My predictions is Lola Vice is going to be all elite. She's the host of No Mercy. Really?
Oh Lord.
Explain that then. Explain that's the new current poster. That's all I'm going to say. No, I think. Oh yeah, I'll deal with all this. Right. Deal with it now, or is that when your minutes re-up? Is that what happens? That's when AOL will give you some more minutes so you can get on the internet. I got you.
My God.
Hold on to. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna close out with that. I hope that you are not like Lola Vice and sleeping on AEW Dynamite tonight. I hope you check it out to see the fallout from All In and see the debut of Ricochet and then also the return of Jamie Hayter and so much more happening on AEW Dynamite. Thank you so much. Says he'll be there Friday. Buckle up is all I have to say. Hey, man, hey, we shall see.
Okay, Kendrick.
Clearly she inherited a lot. clearly she's inherited a lot
She
more.
inherited a lot more land as well. Parkerville is now branching out.
It's branching out. Yeah, hey Dylan, I am trying to get us through this. I just want us to close out. Look, your mayor is doing this. We are done though, so we have time to spare so people can get ready for Dynamite. But before we get up out of here, I just want to make sure that y'all know where to follow and support our correspondents. Courtney, please tell them where they can follow and support you.
You can follow me on both Twitter and Instagram at CourtneyNJ11, while I'll be posting not just wrestling content, but also stuff in the pageantry world and all other exciting things. And you can catch me here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I think Friday is going to be a fun show this Friday.
Yo, WWE, that's it. I ain't got nothing else to say.
I can't.
Yo, WWE, yo. Yeah. Oh, honey, where can they follow and support you?
I will tell you where you cannot find me first, and that is again 3 places: Hand Me Down Monet, Vice City, as well as Parkerville. You can always find me here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays with the WWT Live crew, and I'll be hanging in Pop Rock City because it's going to get on and popping, and people are definitely going to get rocked this weekend or next week for No Mercy. And shout out to everybody in the chat. We love you. You know, this is all fun, and this is it's just been a really good time here. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to have you guys. Thankful for my correspondence. And you can find me on my socials: Wrestling with Honey, Instagram, Wrestling with Honey, TikTok, Facebook, Wrestling W Honey, and follow and like and subscribe the Wrestling with Honey podcast on YouTube.
Yes, indeed, and you can find me as some big news that I did have to announce. I was looking to announce it on here. I'm definitely glad to have the people I have on here to have this announcement. It's big for me that I've become the official spokesperson of Wendy's Posturepedics. So make sure that y'all follow and support the social pages Wendy Posturepedics. They're a knockout, as you can see. These pillows are going for sale. I'm loving every minute of it, being a part of the team. So I just make sure you want us to support us there at Wendy Posturepedics. Use the discount code Lola, and you will get 15% off on one of your Posturepedic pillows. And besides that, you can follow me on Twitch, YouTube tonight. Will Farrell, Pharaoh. Join me tonight at 6:00 Pacific Standard Time because it is Wednesday. So that means TCW is popping tonight, and I will have a guest commentator on there as well. We got a lot happening, and we have the international championship on the line as Eric. Your 30 for 30 gonna be way bigger than mine, man. The fall of Vice City. That's gonna be a lot. Because as soon as I become mayor, I'm scuttling it. I'm getting rid of the whole thing. I'm burning it to you better win. Because as soon as they give me the keys to the city, I'm lighting the match. Councilman, the new My Pillow guy. You're right. Hey, listen, man, I gotta get this.
I want to give one more quick shout out before we go out. I want to give a shout out to the parents, Boss Lady TK, Trinidad, and also the professor, aka Bonafide, Teflon G, whatever you want to call them. They will be in Jamaica with All Caribbean Wrestling for their Jam Fest event. So make sure you guys check out All Caribbean Wrestling. Shout outs to them for being amazing sponsors, as well as don't forget to check out all our cool merch on wwtalkpod.com and follow the drip, man. Follow the drip, be a part of the team, support the cause. Yeah, man, this was fun. Today was a great show. We hope you guys enjoyed Dynamite tonight. And go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, it's just shout out to everybody that joined in. Sindil, special nobody's Dylan, even our resident co-mayor jumping in. Magnum, Boza, who else? Eric Isaacs, Ron. Thank you for coming in too. And again, if I didn't see your name on here, if I didn't mention, Matt, of course, Matt being here, Cliff joining in, Stuart James, new to the chat from my side, but glad to see you up in here. I'm so glad that all of you joined today. Be sure to join Friday so you can get our predictions on what's going to happen. Remember, I said Dylan. Right after I said Bill. I said it, but just in case, Dylan Matthews, my boy. Dylan Matthews up here in this thing, man. Appreciate y'all checking us out. Tune in Friday to catch our predictions for Bash in Berlin, No Mercy, and so much more here on WWT Live. The number one for I have no idea what y'all say after that, and I still didn't ask to say what y'all say after that, but I'm just gonna say that it is number one here in the wrestling industry.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at wwtalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at wwtalkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.